Too good. I'm almost out of gas, and I got the check engine light on.
God, me too. My check engine light. God dang it. But it's gone. Are you serious? Almost out of gas.
Yep. My passenger window over here, it's just a piece of plastic, so I can literally hear you through it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured you would do the visual thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Why inside that window I can't let down? Because if I let it down, it won't go back up. I command you to get the fucking bastard back up.
Yes, ma'am.
God.
Well, I waited on a lady yesterday. She was supposed to get a hold of me, but she kind of left it open-ended. And then today, again, it was an open-ended thing. She doesn't understand that I got to go out and panhandle to try to make a living because I'm disabled. I can't just magic my back into decent condition, and I can't just magic money into my pocket. And any minute that I'm spending on somebody to help me, if they're not helping me, I'm wasting time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that say they'll help me, and then they end up just talking about themselves nonstop. Or instead of looking at evidence, they would argue as if they're right, but just because they are them. It's like, come on, that ain't how it works. If I'm punched in the face and I got video evidence of me being punched in the face, but you want to argue instead of looking at the evidence of me being punched in the face, how's that helping me? How is saying we'll work on it tomorrow working?
That's what I'm going through. Fucking, they're doing it intentionally, in my opinion.
Well, they're doing it because they get money if they don't help. You go back every week, like clockwork, to those mental health places. You go back because that's who you're sent to, because as an at-risk adult, you got to go to a mandated reporter. These are the mandated reporters they send you to, and they don't do their jobs.
I know. Bingo, dude.
Yep. That's a lot of what I'm dealing with. And I can't speak out. If I speak out, I get targeted.
I know. Oh my.
They victimize me, and then when I speak out, they pretend I'm a bad person for speaking out and victimize me more. They retaliate at that point. Oh, how dare you speak out? Now I'm going to use the position that I hold to harm you further. The control that I have over others, or the control that my position allows me to have over others. Like when you go to the police station and you got to turn in somebody who beat you up or fucking raped you, and they say, "Are you sure you didn't ask for it just a little bit?" Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Listen, you can't even go to the police station and report anything in Salem. As a matter of fact, they don't even going to take any reports of anything except murder. Something along those lines.
Well, that's the thing. We got the Second Amendment. Those guys don't want to do their jobs. They literally spent over $100,000 just in keeping me incarcerated for trying to turn them in Chapel, Nebraska. There's only 2 towns in the whole place. The biggest one is only 500 people. I'm not shitting you. Last year.
They had to put one person in jail so they could say they're doing something. God.
Yeah, they had to fucking commit felonies to prevent me from turning them in. I had to make it public and on YouTube because nobody would help me turn it in person. I'm like, are you shitting me? You call me your friend and then you ignore me for 6 goddamn years, and then you're pissed off that I'm like, hey, they railroaded me by pretending I'm schizophrenic and pretending I never tried to get help. Now here's our screenshots from our messages going all the way back to 2015. Does it look like I tried to get help?
Oh, wait, that guy died. His name was Schwartz. His name was Charles Schwartz. I can dig out the fucking thing. He died in custody. I knew him. He was homeless. He died in custody in Salem. Anyway, the lady at Arches is doing something. If you can remember all you dead people that were homeless, I was like, oh, that's what
I couldn't possibly remember them all, but I could probably name off a good 50 to 60 of them. And just going through my record, that's the thing. When you have that many people that you've lost, it makes you feel terrible that you can't remember all their names.
I know. Here, dude, I know. Me too. That's why I take pictures of the RIP signs if I can. But I became discouraged. I stopped taking pictures. I stopped writing, and I stopped advocating for people who have to do it. Sorry, that fucking sucks. It sucks.
So it's just all right. I always see. I'm a silent. I'm never showing on that. I'm a black show. I'm a silent.
I'm gonna silent. You want a cigarette?
I'd love one.
Yeah, don't just hold on. God, yeah, got the fuck out of everybody. That's
Like it's better than committing criminal acts instead of doing the or for the criminal acts.
No,
They need to be turned into the criminal acts.
no, the businesses have to be turned into the share shit there. It's unfathomable. These kids think they can put, no, McDonald's is great. They can eat.
I consider my house, and they're always other people now.
Yeah, and here.
You know?
You gotta understand.
A lot of other
You
McDonald's.
gotta understand that I got
But the lady runs racist brown. I'm not trying to be racist by saying that, but brown folks are better to us than white folks.
well, you
For the
know,
most part.
actually, I am either man, so I very part of my education, and but
But we're all illegal.
I hate
Our ass
that
is
whole
full of it.
Space them out so that you know you get that special high off of the
Cigarette? Oh, the first one for the morning? Yeah.
with the chemicals in them. 20 years of not smoking. One pack of fucking American spirit. I gotta go. I'm trying to work shit out. I'm fucking off. It doesn't work. My car's ready to break. The engine's ready to crack. And, you know, that's it. Fucking goddamn shit ain't pumping fluid. I know it. And nobody knows. What's that?
I'm not a mechanic. I have to go to other people to help me fix mine. But when it stops raining, if you see me, I might be able to take a look and I might have fluid.
Hey, man. Are you able to get to Salem?
No, not right now. I got no gas. Matter of fact, right now I'm trying to heat up my car because it's pretty cold.
Right. I know. I'm just saying. Look, finally, I got a line on somebody. He works at an auto parts store. He's very young, a child onset diabetic. His name is Orange. He's like, I'll do shit for free on Saturdays. Anyway, if we can connect back together, I don't want to even. I told Orange I'm gonna pay him. Get it? Orange is that good. I said, you don't give away your shit for free. I'll fucking pay you on my car. The little things, you know, the shit the mechanics won't do it. So he works there, but just, I'll see you and think about going to Salem. Maybe you're a man when I go or something.
Yes, ma'am. I'll put it under consideration. I gotta see what else I got going on. They got me jumping through so many fucking hoops right now.
Well, my hoops don't get me anywhere.
Neither do mine. I have to go in alone.
I spent a week until you know what I got? A thingy for some showers in Dubai. That's it.
At least you didn't get arrested. Holy hell.
They tried to get me arrested yesterday.
You're homeless. Makes sense.
Called on me for no reason.
I have video footage of one of the sheriff's department deputies slamming a 14-year-old girl off of his vehicle. Doesn't say a word, just gets out of his vehicle, runs up to her, grabs her, takes a running start into the side of his vehicle. Nobody gives two shits. Here, at the Safeway.
Was she homeless or what? She was young.
She was a 14-year-old girl.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah, and her parents fucking watched.
Oh my God, what the fuck did he do that for?
I don't know.
God dang.
He's probably friends with the parents. They're probably abusing her, and she probably wanted to tell on him, and nobody would listen.
And then she got slammed for it. Oh,
But that's just speculation on my part.
yeah,
The part
yeah.
where he slammed her off the vehicle like that, that's not speculation. That straight up is on video.
Wow. I gotta get my Obama phone, dude.
So do I. That's the thing about having to hold up on my stuff so that when somebody calls me, I can actually record the conversation and prove that it happened. Because lots of people say, I'll help you and I'll do this and I'll do that, and they half-ass it halfway through. But the whole point is to get the evidence turned into who it needs to go to. And then my predators get to say I didn't try and nobody was trying to help me and all this other stuff. Like, no, I have been trying. I shouldn't have to post it on the internet because the cops won't take it. But the cops won't take it because my friends won't help turn it in.
Wow. Yeah.
And then they want to call me their friend.
My friend turned her back on me here through that bullshit. Daddy was a logger and mine was not. She gets to live here in that house. Anyway, I gotta keep going, man. My car doesn't like sitting like this. It needs up. It's not comfortable.
Mine too. Be safe.
I will. I hope I see you again.
You probably will. I don't have the ability to go anywhere.
I gotta go north because I don't know what else to do. I don't know what to do, but I'll be back.
Yes, ma'am. Be safe.
You too, man.
Oh, I need to get that cold spelled away. I was starting to close it. Well, I should have had the heater pointed at my windshield and not pointed out at me to warm me up. But it's fucking cold as hell. It's not like super cold, but I never warm up. A lot of people, they stop and they tell me their stories, and they're so glad that somebody will listen to them. They just keep on talking. You know, I got to that point a long time ago. Where I was so desperate to get someone to listen because this abuse is so fucking horrible. First time somebody said that they would listen, and we set it up and gun it, and they didn't make it. You know, it does send me into a panic attack. It makes people not understand even more because I'm even more scared, and because I'm more scared, I'm afraid to even speak up or ask you for help. If I'm trying too hard to get help, you snap at me and treat me like I'm a horrible person. Even if you haven't actually done anything except make promises you haven't kept. They killed people I know, and instead of people who know me speaking up, they want to speak up about people they don't know. They showed that they care more about Elijah McClain than they do about me, and Zaid Atkinson than they do about me, and George Floyd than they do about me. And even though police officers did the same things to me they did to these other folks, none of you give a shit. You know me in person. You knew me before Natalie was killed. You knew me before my back was hurt. You knew me. What changed? I started exhibiting signs of abuse. That's what changed. I was exhibiting those signs of abuse because I hurt my back, and that made me a lot easier to prey upon. I was alone, and that made me a lot easier to prey upon. And all those folks that helped out and said, hey man, if you ever have a problem, you let me know. Where the fuck are they? Where have they been for the last 6 years? Sure, they've said that they will help. You want to judge me based on empty promises? That's evidence that people were trying to help me, right? No, it's evidence that they were telling me they were gonna. They were eating up my time. They were eating up my resources, knowing full well what they were doing. I do hit the nail right on the head. And people don't fucking like it. People don't like being faced with their own equalities and inequalities. They don't want to be faced with the fact that they are pushing a narrative that is untrue. That they're wanting to blame others for something that those others might do over something that they are actually doing. You're actually doing it, and you're going to judge somebody else because they might. How screwed up is that? You wouldn't want your friends and family blowing you off when being abused. If they care, they make the time. The fact that I get abused everywhere I go and these people want to pretend like I can just ignore it, and if I pretend it's not happening, it goes away. That's not how abuse works. That is not how predators work. There was a time and a place. When it happened, I always went to someone. I always went to someone. When they didn't help, I went to someone else and someone else and someone else. I tried. No one else did. Telling me you're going to do something and making no effort to do it is not help. Sending me a friend request because you heard that Natalie fucking died from some web sleuth group that you're a part of. And you want to tell me you want to be my friend, and then you literally don't do a thing. I let you know that I'm only willing to allow you on my friends list because I need help. I need people to look at evidence and fucking speak up. When you don't do that after saying that you will, after inferring you will, misleading that you will, and you don't, and I speak out about the fact that you literally took advantage of me at that point. You misled me to believe that you were going to. In most cases, by literally outright telling me that you were going to. How many times am I supposed to believe you when you don't keep your word any of those times? When I do my best to explain to you that, hey, if this happens, if I'm going to talk to you tomorrow, it's going to eat up my whole day if you're not going to give me a time. And if you don't follow through, show up at that time or call at that time like you said that you were going to, that's eating up my whole day, especially if you're a no-call, no-show. Or if you give me a message that is either dismissive or non-committal. You say you're going to call me, and then you just never do. How am I supposed to believe that you're going to call me the next time you say you're going to call me? Or the time after that, or the time after that? Because you're going to keep on leading me on that you care, but you're not going to do any of that family shit. You're not going to do any of that friend shit. Tell me about yourself and your problems and about how I'm being selfish when I haven't gotten to tell you about my problems. I'm always hearing about yours. I'm always hearing about why you can't do anything when you literally haven't tried to find out if you can do anything. You can, and you know that you can. You've literally made excuses before trying. Sometimes your excuse is the Bible. Well, you know what? I've read the Bible and you're using it wrong. Sometimes you use the law, except you're wrong about what the law says, which makes it even more screwed up because I know the laws about these situations and I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to send you literally links to the laws, literally links to the mandated reporter training. I'm trying to send you the stuff that you're spouting ignorant. Fuck what you heard, look it up. Just because a cop told you something doesn't mean he's telling the truth. See, here's what they tell me. They tell me, well, they can't do nothing. They can't do nothing. They can't do nothing. Or I should have called them immediately. You know what? When I call them immediately, they fucking bully me and harass me and threaten me and intimidate me. Why? Because I'm a disabled homeless male who has to go in alone. Because of a record that I now have that is unjust and unnecessary. To try to frame me for crimes that I didn't commit so that you can deny me the right to defend myself anywhere, ever, is fucked. And my friends, I see all these posts. I'm like, hey, you'll bitch about anybody else this happens to, and you don't know any of them. Meanwhile, some of their predators are literally the same predators that I have by name, like Waylon Lolotai, and still you won't fucking listen. My predators got away because your bullshit was more important than keeping your word. Your bullshit was more important than being a friend. Your bullshit. And it is bullshit. If it were true, you wouldn't be trying to destroy the evidence. If it were true, you would have turned it into the fucking cops and you'd have made sure that you have fucking proof. If you were treated the way that you claim that you were treated, you'd be posting up in groups like Court Victims United about how horribly you were fucking treated. I don't believe for one moment you made any of the efforts that you claim that you did without me. I don't insist that you blindly believe me. Matter of fact, I insist that you don't. I don't need you to believe me. I need you to look at the evidence. Am I or am I not telling the truth? Did I or did I not tell the truth to you and about you? Did I go to you for help? Those are important questions. Now, I know I talk a lot, and that lady there, she talks a lot too. She's obviously trying to run through the gauntlet of resources and expending an incredible amount of resources to jump through those hoops, and she is not getting anywhere. None of us are. The laws aren't being followed because you don't give a shit because we're not black. Some of us are. Is it because we're not women? Some of us are. Is it because we're not white? Some of us are. Is it because we're not men? Some of us are. Is it because we're not children? Some of us are. Is it because we're not adults? Some of us are. Is it because we're not Jews? Some of us are. Sure, it's against the law for you racist KKK folks, neo-Nazi folks, to take your crap out on a Jew. But if it's a homeless Jew, even the Jews don't care. Same thing with every one of these. The only time they care is when they can use those statistics that came from homeless people. Homeless people. They were targeted because they were homeless, not because they were black. They were targeted because they were homeless, not because they're Jewish. They were targeted because the homeless are a class of people that nobody cares about. You pretend to care, you blow us off, but really, if a real friend, somebody you actually care about, came to you with the issues that we have, you'd do something right away. The instructions on my paperwork say right away. But I gotta beg you for 6 years to pretend to give a shit eventually, hopefully. How about we stop pretending that it's just anti-Semitic, or it's just against blacks, or it's just against Native Americans, when all of your statistics, all of them show that the homeless of your groups are the most victimized, and all of your statistics show that they're the ones you are most likely to turn away from. And it is because you turn away from them that they are so easy to victimize. Not because they're black. A black man that nobody cares about, not even black people, is a lot more likely to be victimized than a black person in a house with his family of other black people who actually care about his well-being or her well-being. If they're out on the streets, here's what it means. It means they fell through the cracks. It means that nobody helped them. It means that when it comes to the roll of the dice, they got the shit hand. I get that that is two different analogies and or references that I rolled into one. If you feel insulted by that or annoyed by that, well, guess what? I'm annoyed by the fact that my friends are dead. I'm annoyed by the fact that my supposed friends have ignored this situation for 6 years. Even the ones who were involved in the situation. They don't want me to show that they were bad friends. But the thing is, they can't help me if they're not willing to admit to the public that they fucked up. No, this doesn't fall on any one of them individually. It falls on every single person. Every single person that I reached out to for help. Not the predators, but the supposed loved ones, the ones who were supposed to care, who did nothing to stop it, who did everything to let it continue and to perpetuate it. You want to be angry that I went to you for help? You want to be angry that I showed that I went to you for help? I was railroaded in court because my predators fucking lied and you didn't do a goddamn thing about it. At least that lady over there who talks too much, at least she's using her mouth for something useful other than blowing smoke up my ass. She is reaching out for help. That's what she wants. She wants someone to work together with her. Yeah, she's nuttier than squirrel turds. That's what long-term abuse fucking does to you. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind.